Hello, we are students from IIM Kozhikode, and today we are exploring a very critical question that every organization grapples with. What does organization culture truly impact employee retention? In the service sector, where people are your greatest assets, retention isn't just an HR metric, it's a business imperative. And increasingly, research shows that culture might be the most powerful retention tool organizations have. To understand this better, we have with us Joyal Johnson, an experienced talent acquisition leader who has spent years in the service sector, particularly working across the retail, CPG, travel, and hospitality industries. With deep expertise and understanding what makes people join, stay, and thrive in an organization, Joel Johnson brings invaluable insights from across the industry landscape. Thank you, sir, for joining and taking your time and speaking with us today. So let's dive into the first question. Before we actually go into the questions, we would like to hear a bit about your journey and what drew you to HR and talent acquisition and what keeps you passionate about this field.
Thanks for that question. And hi everyone, this is Joel. I've been working in IT services industry for almost 13 years. For the past 7 years, specifically into talent acquisition that we did. I'm very passionate about reaching to the outside uh, entities or stakeholders and to churn out the creamy layer of people for my organization, how to bridge the gap what the employer is having with the people outside. So to reach out to them to fit in the gap for the employer, how to churn out the gap. This is my passionate area. So I'm very much interested in that part. So earlier in my career, I was working closely in technology space. Then later I moved on to different management roles. Later on, I ended up in uh, talent acquisition, which is my passionate area. Yeah, that's a small summary about my travel journey to this role. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing with us. So, so I know your passion for people and talent really comes through. So let us start with the first set of questions about understanding organization culture. So, from your experience across the service sector, how do you define organizational culture? And when we talk about culture, we are really talking about what are the key components that affect this entire process and what people should keep in mind when they are joining a company, especially in the service sector.
Yeah. Okay. See, when we're talk, talking about organization culture, see, this is a shared way that we think, okay, that we decide and behave, if not as an individual, but as an organization as such. So, especially in service sector, okay, where the outcome is dependent on collective interactions of humans in scale, right? So, culture is not at all something which we are repeatedly saying in our posters or things like that, right? It's something which is already practiced, okay, on our day-to-day basis, how people are getting rewarded, how they are getting tolerated, and if you're asking me at the end of the day how I feel after a day's work, okay, this is a collective outcome of all these things. So, and just to add on to that, see, leadership behavior is very key in this, okay, because culture is shaped from top to down, not from bottom to top. So leadership behavior is the key there, and people processes definitely. Okay, in a recognition standpoint, or how hiring is done, how onboarding is done, and how the performance management is done. This is very key there. Okay? And transparency in communication. See, this is how we are influencing the trust factor amongst the employees. Okay? So these are my key pointers to answer that specific question.
That was really comprehensive perspective, sir. Just to build on that, so since you have been in this industry for like 13 years and you've witnessed significant changes across this industry, how has organizational culture in the service sector evolved over your career, especially in terms of how organizations approach and value their people? And what has been the most significant shift that you have observed in this tenure?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because I have been with the industry from the time of, see, we shifted, the major shift happened in the Corona timeframe, as we all know. So we shifted from rigid models to flexible models. We shifted from generic things to how to continue business continuity, okay, amidst all these challenges. So we went through that time frame. So that bring a lot of changes. So flexible work models, personalized attention, okay, individuals getting a bigger picture of what they are doing, okay, and technology right now it's democratized to everyone so that the communications are reaching them, the recognition is reaching them, the continuous learning is reaching them. Overall, uh, people are not longer treated only as resources; they are seen as see, partners in the overall value creation. So from the earlier way in which people initially in the industry they were treated as a resource, like I have this much resources, this is turned out of that. But right now they are treated as a value partners, and flexibility is given to them, and more belongingness, growth, everything is the shift that I see over the course of this time frame.
That's well said, Joel. I really like the part where you said employees are not treated as resources, but more as partners. So that really, I think, would imbibe with all of us. So that evolution actually sets the stage for understanding what retention is. So I'll hand it over to Krish. We can explore more on that aspect of organization.
Yeah. Thank you, Antajita. And hi, sir. Now let's get into what really works in practice. So you have observed many organizations across service sector, some that excel at retentions, other that struggle. So in your experience, what differentiate high retention service organizations culturally from those that face high attrition? When you look at an organization, what are the telltale signs?
Yeah. Okay. See, um, first first thing that personally also I have experienced is like when an employee who is not heard. Okay, that's something which is going to be very impacting in terms of an employee. So every time high retention organization which they are practicing, one thing is like they listen every time. Okay, rather than reacting to something before that, they listen to it, they act on it. So employee voice is never ignored. It's point number one. Second thing is like see expectations need to be set very clearly. Okay. See, and see, because unfair expectations and changing expectations, ambiguous expectations to employees, this will create a lot of confusions to them, and they will panic. Okay, they will panic, and it will create all the sort of issues which result in attrition. And so if in the contrary, if I'm saying clear clarity in terms of expectations for the role, also in evaluation per se or analysis per se, in an appraisal point of view, transparent evaluations and also workloads are fairly distributed. Okay. Then the thing is like, yeah, if they are challenged or if they are feared in any scenarios, employee should be having a mechanism where their psychological safety is guaranteed. Okay. So these three pointers are the key. So in contrary, whatever it is, I think that will be the flags that we need to keep in mind. Maybe it can be inconsistent leadership behavior, lack of clarity in the roles, okay, lack of timely recognition, job roles changing without prior communication, and the employees feeling unheard, their what to say, fears and their challenges are not being having an environment to be discussed with.
Yeah, those are really tangible differentiators. So, building on that, how important is alignment between organizational values and employees' personal values for retention? especially in service businesses where frontline interactions are so critical. Does that value alignment really move the needle?
Yeah. See, especially in service sector, okay, where just like you rightly quoted, the scale in which the each and every employee's interaction or the constant human interaction is the key in the industry or in the business itself. So if the employee's personal values are not at all aligned with the organization, then the boat is not sailing to the right direction, right? So because personally, as a individual, as an employee, I'll be having my own aspirations, and if it's not aligned with the organization thing, it is going in totally two different directions. Okay? So this is something which even the in an employee perspective also we should keep in mind before we are joining one organization. What is the overall organizational values? Okay, whether it is fitting me. Also, organization during an interview process as a talent acquisition professional, I can guarantee that this is something which the panelists also need to be sure whether what is the employee or the particular candidate's value proposition, is it aligned to mine? Okay, be it integrity, be it empathy, okay, be it what to say service alignment, is it aligned? Unless this is going on the right direction, uh, the relationship between the employee and the organization is going to fail. So alignment is very key. Yeah.
Uh, Thank you for the brief answer, sir. Now, Chinmay will take us into an interesting discussion about value propositions. Over to Chinmay.
Thank you, Krish. Thank you, Joel, sir, for taking out time for this discussion. As early career professionals, we will be entering workforce in 1 to 2 years from now. All of us were discussing, and we had the same question. A lot of entry-level graduates, very talented people are joining IT workforce, IT industry. When you see in today's Indian economy, there are a lot of other options. There are a lot of gig working gigs, right, which pay equivalently well, but still IT sector continues to attract a large number of talented people or a great quality of talent. So we wanted to ask your perspective on this, like beyond the money, what is that IT sector provide to these young determined individuals which attracts them to this sector?
Okay. To answer it, see, I will give my own personal example. Like, see, money is money will attract people definitely. Okay, so that is a non-negotiable factor. But to keep them stay, money cannot keep them stay. Okay? We need to be smart enough so that that stay part is something which is beyond money can buy. So personally, if you're asking me where and when, personally, I wanted an internal mobility. Okay. See, I was trying a lot of roles internally in my own organization, starting from tech, then into where I completed my MBA. Post that I was into pre-sales. I was doing business analyst roles. Later, I started with HR, talent acquisition, that too into 3, 4 roles currently. So see, internal mobility, it's like providing internal gig ecosystems, okay? Especially service sector, they can easily do that because they are having scale of it, they're having a mechanism of it, they're having a broader roles and responsibilities which is playing across multiple domains. So, if you are asking me specifically, I think my answer will be that.
You mentioned about the learning opportunity, right? That these mobility programs provide. It perfectly ties up with my next question, which is like how the learning culture that emphasize, all these learning and development initiatives for retention of these earlier career employee. How is it like specifically in the service sector? Like, are there any some instances which this IT industry sector is indifferent from other sectors when we talk about, these retention programs?
Yeah, definitely. See, as early as the employee is joining the sector, okay, we will be giving them the possibilities or ecosystem in which they can evolve them continuously. Okay, so a continuous learning program is exposed to them. Now, rather than we coming in and dictating them this need to be done, okay, they are having complete choice of what is their core interest area, and they can choose and learn accordingly. They can get internal, external certifications. We will be taking care of that monetary part of it as and when they are serious about these certifications. Internal mentorship programs, okay, internal guiding for this, and opportunities to work in newer technologies. So rather than only the learning part of it, we are giving or exposing them the practical area where they can, what to say, progress. They can express themselves. They can experiment their learnings. And at the end of the day, it will be like, just like I told earlier, an employee, they want something, they want a career progression or a transparency there. We are giving it across to them rather than we dictating you need to go in this path. We are giving them that platform open. So, a learning culture of the organization, I would say that it's a investment not only for the organization, but for the employees' future. So, this is what I want to say.
So, sir, I guess like if you want to add on anything more to that question, like how IT services majorly, differ from other industry in terms of this employee learning. If you don't have anything to add, so I can conclude my part. Yeah.
No, just to add on to that, see, especially in our industry or our organization, if you're seeing, along with the what to say, whatever pointers I mentioned regarding the learning possibilities, see, uh, hackathons or ideathons or rotational assignments. Okay, they again a structured onboarding. Okay, a sprint in which a 90 days training is clear to the new joinee. All these things also we prioritize. Especially if you ask me, in our organization, last 2 months back, we had an ideathon which was having an increase close to say 4 lakh plus entries from that ideathon itself across the organization. So this is in AI space specifically in multiple domains. So and each and every contribution was evaluated and recognized. So everyone was so happy with the outcome of it. And at the end of the day, as a collated crowdsourcing, whatever that we did, we are building on top of these ideas. So these kind of things, along with the mentorships and continuous learning possibilities, this is what I want to add specific to the industry on this specific question on learning culture.
So definitely from your words, what I can grasp is the learning culture in the IT industry. It is the lever, it is the differentiator, which differentiates from other all the gig economy, etc. So thank you for the insights. And now Hitiksha, I guess you can continue this discussion more about the cultural practices.
So yes, thank you, sir, for joining. And on continuing the cultural elements, I would like to ask you a question that today's workforce is unique, and we have Gen Z, millennials, and Gen X all working side by side, and they can have very different expectations. How do these different generational cohorts respond to organizational culture differently? And how should this understanding shape retention strategies in the service sector?
Okay, that's a very interesting question because I'm facing this on a day-to-day basis also. Because handling a larger workforce, we need to be tricky on this part. See, and we are learning it in multiple forums regarding how they treat each and every the values differently. So Gen Zs usually they value the purpose, okay, and they seek for flexibility, okay, and rapid growth, okay. So maybe the main area which we can see these things is like transparent feedbacks. They are looking for micro learning, okay, the hybrid options. All these things are key for them. But when it comes to the millennials, see, they are okay in terms of stretch roles. They need to get recognized. Okay, stability need to be there with the growth. Okay, and the quality of the leadership is key for them. Okay? See, this can be seen in what to say, career clear career advancements and the benefits part. All these things are very key for millennials. When it comes to Gen X, okay, see, autonomy is their main need, respect, okay, then trust and predictability. Okay, we can see that in their they are expecting not much micromanagement. They don't like doing more manager coming in discussing everything with them, getting them know. They want their own space. They will do things. Then they want decision making. Okay, they don't want others to tell or others to do the things for them. And recognition to be equitable. Okay, this is key for them. I feel like these are the differences.
Yes, sir, I totally agree, and I really liked how you break down each of the aspects here. So that generational perspective is very important in these days. And now this next question is one which we all have been curious about because it often reveals the most authentic insights. So throughout your career, could you share an interesting instance or experience related to an employee? It can be anonymous or generalized that taught you an important lesson at the workplace, maybe something that changed how you think about culture or retention.
Yeah. See, there was an instance, okay, there was a high performing analyst, okay. Uh, they were seeking a resignation, okay, for better compensation. So this is specifically for one of our initiatives. So I was having clear visibility. I recruited this person in, so I know how good this person is. So we had a discussion with that person, a one-on-one. Okay, basically a same review. See, when we deep dive with the person, we understood that the switch is not made merely for better compensation. It's because of the lack of recognition and no clear career path, too much things added on top of whatever the roles and responsibility that the person is serving. So this is the actual reason, not only the compensation part. Okay. Now what we did was like we went with that feedback back to the leadership. Okay, we spoke to the respective leadership for that person where he was working, uh, and we discussed on these pointers. We had a discussion with the managers, level managers. So we did that load balancing and mapped the person to the correct or exact clear roles and responsibility. And wherever we feel like there was a gap in terms of recognition, and not only for that person, but for that team as such in peer recognition, we standardized it with help of larger HR team. And what is it? At the end of the day, still the person is continuing in the organization. So that was a learning for me. Not money is the core reason for someone to leave a job, but that can be a reason for attraction to a newer role. But to keep them stay, it's not the money. It's the predictability, it's the clarity, and it's the acceptance and appreciation.
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that. And those real moments often teach us more than any framework or theory could. So now Anushri will be taking on to the future looking aspects.
Thank you, Hitiksha, and thank you, Joyal sir, for that story. As we move forward, as we move towards wrapping up, I'd like to explore where the industry is heading. There's clearly a shift happening across the industry. We are see increased emphasis on employee well-being, work-life balance, etc. These aren't just nice to have anymore. How is organizational culture in the service sector adapting to incorporate these priorities? What patterns are we seeing?
Yeah, okay, that's a very interesting thing. See, yeah, there are usual pointers there, but before that, I just want to add the thing is like, see, more open conversations are happening, uh, more uh, uh, more discussions rather than a review discussion or something. More open discussions where employees can come and discuss their psychological fears or challenges that they are facing in day to day their work life. role level challenges where they are seeking help. All these things are happening these days more compared to the earlier part. And just like I was answering the previous question asked, okay, the availability of more hybrid options, okay, flexibility, remote options, this is increasingly benefiting the employees, what is it, in an overall sense in terms of a cultural change compared to the previous time frames. Then the equity and the inclusion and diversity is a key. Okay, so there is managers are trained on this. The calibration is done on this aspect, especially on equity and diversity. How, especially in the hiring per se, how this can be done democratized across diverse set of people or diverse variety of people it's coming in. Uh, and a human first leadership, okay, rather than simply being a leader to them, how we can coach them, how we can show empathy rather than even in an escalated situation where things are not moving and we need to be critical and we need to be pinpointing things, how we can show empathy. And even in a personal crisis, someone is going through that, how visibly we can support them. All these things are key. So leaders are trained on all these things. Okay. And more structured wellness programs are there. So all these things are the adapted newer things I want to add there.
Thank you, sir. That's really forward thinking. My another question is, given everything we have discussed today, the differentiators, the challenges, the opportunities, what advice would you give to HR professionals? Perhaps those like us who are earlier in our careers, who genuinely want to build a retention-focused culture in today's competitive talent market. Where should we focus our energy?
Okay. See, first thing is like start by listening. Okay, whenever there is a conversation happening, not only in this space, any conversations, start with listening because the data, the surveys, this is not going to. This is only going to matter the action that is following. So start listen, understand what is the real problem. Uh, Sit with the person, just like the example I was quoting earlier. Understand the core of it. Just spend time. Second thing I would say is like, see, internal mobility is very key because usually employees feel lost or stagnant or static in a specific role. And they will think like, okay, so for a role change, I need to switch. So especially in service sector, we are having that liberty of internal mobility. But when a specific industry is not having that kind of a setup, invest in the possibilities of internal mobility and learning. Okay. Another thing is like empowering leaders for being the culture carriers. Okay. Every time by the name of a leader or a head, the thing that is coming to everyone's mind is they are the policy enforcers. No, they are the people who are responsible to carry down the organizational culture. So they are the culture carriers. So they need to be empowered. They need to be trained for that. Okay. Especially the newer generation of leaders who are coming to that. Okay, this is the key thing. This trust factor is very important. Okay, see, an employee's value proposition, which is aligned to an organizational value proposition, unless they can trust the organization, it won't be consistent. Okay, and at the last, even if it's a small victories or wins, recognize it in a long way. This is going to be a bigger win for the organization standpoint. So these are the pointers which I want to mention there.
Thank you, sir. That's invaluable advice for all of us. One final question. Looking at the horizon, what emerging trends do you believe will be most critical for employee retention in the service sector over the next few years? What should organizations be preparing for?
Yeah, see, just like I told earlier, see, internal mobility or internal mobility right now in organizations, In future, what I feel is like an internal gig, some mobility platforms or marketplaces can be there. Okay. See, right now in our industry also it's happening like internal uh, careers portal is there where we will be posting jobs internally for all the employees. Like these are the openings. Okay, if you want a short stint, come and work with us. Or along with your current role, if you want to try this, if you're interested, you can do that. So an internal gig marketplace is something which is evolving. Another is like see. A personalization of employees' experience. Okay, this is something key with this latest AI-driven approach. Okay, personalized employee experience, which we can deliver to them, so that they feel like their learnings, their recognitions, all these things are attended, and all these things are what to say recognized and on the right time, and clear skill-based pathways, which is aligning to the choice of the employee, a learning platform for that skill-based career pathways. All these things are a future of it. We are practicing this based on the employee's choice of what career path that he want to be in a 5 year down the line. Okay, if he choose a particular role or a particular domain, we will curate, system will curate the set of courses or set of curriculum certifications which they need to be completing in so and so duration to achieve that kind of a role. And if they are achieving, they are recognized with those kind of roles with added compensational benefits. Okay, so all these things are future to it. We are practicing to some extent, and more emphasis on, as I told earlier, more emphasis on the well-being and psychological safety. And along with that, the manager, how they are enabled and their KRA KP in terms of how good they are in coaching, giving a rightful feedback, inclusion, all these things.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that perspective. And now, Hitiksha, I'll hand it back to you to close.
Once again, thank you so much, Joel, sir, for such a comprehensive and insightful conversation. Before we close, is there anything else you'd like to add that we haven't covered about culture and retention in the service sector?
I don't think so. It was comprehensive from my end as well, Diksha.
Sir, now what's really clear from this discussion is that retention isn't about one silver bullet. It's about creating a holistic culture where people feel valued, aligned with the organizational mission, and invested in their growth. So, on behalf of our entire team, Krish, Antarjita, Anushri, Chinmaya, Richa, and myself, we would like to thank you so much for your time and wisdom today.
Thank you, sir.
Definitely,
Thank you,
and
sir.
thank you. Thank you all. Have a great day. Thank you.